White and Red Ball, organized annually by the Legion of Young Polish Women, is one of the best Polish-American traditions, not just in Chicago, anywhere in the States. This year, the 86th edition will take place at the Chicago's Hilton Hotel on February 28th. And we have an amazing opportunity to talk about not just the ball, but about the Legion in general with its new president, Cherilyn Denisiuk.
Yes.
Thank you for finding time and visiting us, visiting Polish.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
And congratulations
Thank
on
you.
your elections. It's a huge responsibility.
It's a big responsibility, but it's also a big honor. You know, it's a very big honor to be at the helm of this big organization that's been around for so long. Big shoes to fill, for sure. Lots of ladies come before me.
What is your Legion story? When does your story with the Legion of Young Polish Women start?
My story begins in 1988 when I was a debutante.
Wow.
Yes, I actually, 1987, I went to my first ball, and my parents brought me and my sister, and we attended for the first time, being invited to come and see what it was all about. And I attended my first ball, and my parents turned to me and said, "Would you like to be a debutante?" And I just sat there thinking, can I? You know, I had no idea that I could be one of them. You know, I just thought I was coming to attend and look at the beautiful girls out there. I had no idea that I could be one of them. I had no idea what it entailed. I was in high school.
Was it a love at first sight?
It was, yes. Yes, it was. I got to wear my big, beautiful ball gown at the time. And, you know, it was just a dream come true. It was a Cinderella moment. And just to attend the ball was a Cinderella moment. And then to be one of them next year was life-changing. It really was life-changing. I was a shy girl. Hard to believe, but yeah, I was shy. A lot of girls say that to me in the organization, and they're very surprised by that, but I was extremely shy. And being a debutante actually got me to kind of come out of my shell, because you had to do fundraising, and you had to talk to people, and you had to do interviews and all these different things. And no longer could be shy. You had to take yourself out of your comfort zone.
Exactly, and it's shaping young women in an unforgettable way. Those memories stay with you
forever.
Yeah. So what happened next?
So then what happened next was I learned to kind of be a little bit more forthcoming. I joined the Chicago Intercollegiate Council at the time, which was the kind of segue into it. Joined Legion and explored all of my Polish roots. And because I grew up in a household that didn't speak Polish and, you know, only had very few Polish traditions. So learned a lot. And this has been part of my existence and for that long. So
do you have a daughter? Was she a
debutante?
debutante?
I do not, but I've had nieces who have been debutantes. Yes.
Yeah.
There was no question that they were going to be debutantes. I literally could not wait.
Wonderful. Let's talk about the concept of debutantes. That was an important moment for young women to be presented to the society, but we're talking about decades, if not centuries ago. If you could talk about what it was back then and what it is now, and how Legion found a way to make this moment relevant in young people's lives.
It's true. It's a very, when you say the word debutante, what does it mean to people? Some people will say, oh gosh, what an antiquated, you know, idea. The idea of being a debutante, oh, it's just a girl that's getting paraded around, you know, by her parents, or it's only for people in the highest echelon of society. Not true. Today's debutantes, people are very often surprised as to who is a debutante. They're like, oh, she's a debutante? Oh, she's a debutante. It really is for everybody. It is for anybody who wants to embrace fundraising. You know, there's charitable causes that often go along with the debutante programs. And what we are trying to do and how Legion views their debutantes is we are not trying to marry girls off. That is the old... That is the old idea of what a debutante is about. We are not marrying girls off. That is the misconception as to what we were trying to do. But so the purpose of a debutante has evolved and changed. How we've modernized it is that because we're not doing that, what we are doing is bringing girls into the modern world. We are trying to create future leaders of America, of the world, really. And so how we are doing that is the actual concept hasn't changed. So a debutante was somebody that was being put out into a spotlight, and she was put out in front of a large group of people. And she was put out there by herself in a way so that people were all looking at her. That's no different. That tradition of being alone in that moment is still very valid, and it's still relevant. It's still extremely relevant, because this is what takes a young lady out of her comfort zone. That's that concept of introducing a woman to society is still there. And it's the society of, I'm ready. I am ready to take that next step. I am ready to not be a young girl anymore, because I'm ready to mature and I'm ready to be a part of things. I want to change society. I want to be a part of these things. I want to grow and I want to be a woman. Mm-hmm. And so all that really actually is still the same.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of interesting. So it really isn't that antiquated. So our girls we do things now where we're trying to teach them skills, life skills. Our skills, we've evolved so that they are now learning business skills. We have debutante boardroom that we do with the girls. So we teach them networking. We teach them how to do presentation skills. We teach them how to negotiate. Mm-hmm. We try to mediate and stuff with them. So they understand now. They're getting more skills so that they can actually navigate the real world in a better way. In this day and age, girls have lots of social media, lots of technology. Different sort of a world than when I grew up in.
I'm extremely impressed by the qualities that they bring to the table. Each one of them is literally ready to operate on their own. And the Legion is empowering them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it gives them the princess moment.
We do.
To dress up,
mm-hmm.
put on the best possible makeup, hairdress,
mm-hmm.
and get those gazes of hundreds of people that for a few moments will be looking only at them.
Only at them, yes. They still have that moment in the spotlight. And honestly, my very favorite moment of the entire night mm-hmm. that most people can't even see, because you can only see it when you are a girl in red and you are behind them, is when they stand up from their bow and they turn around and they have that, I did it moment. And you can't ever take that away from that girl. That is her one moment of pride and accomplishment that no one will ever understand unless you've done it yourself.
Wow, wonderful. This is a truly transformational moment, but
mm-hmm.
that transformation, it's not really a moment, it's a process. And that process
mm-hmm.
is happening, I think, to the largest extent before the ball, where the girl actually has to work mm-hmm. on fundraising, reach out to whatever network she has and ask for resources that will contribute to the Legion.
Absolutely.
I'm happy to hear that you coach them and that you teach them how to do that, how to operate in this world.
We do step-by-step process.
Mm-hmm.
So we have debutante teas in which we do one skill building at a time. So we teach them one little thing at a time, just because a lot of the stuff is overwhelming. And if we teach them one little skill, it builds upon the next one, so that when they actually do go out and fundraise, they've learned how to write a biography. Wow. They've learned how to talk about themselves. Mm-hmm. They've learned already how to talk about Legion. They've already known Legion's history so that they can communicate that to the community and to anybody else that they're trying to solicit.
Wow. I bet that for many of them, this will also be love at first sight, and they will continue working for the Legion for
we hope so. Yeah, that's our goal. It's our goal.
Awesome. That work is part of the Legion's continuing success, and for 86 years, Legion is contributing huge sums of money to different causes, not just
mm-hmm.
in Polish America, but who do you actually support as a Legion of Young Polish Women?
So we have charitable causes, we have cultural causes,
mm-hmm.
and we also have educational causes. So we kind of spread it all around. So this year we have bought costumes for a lot of the Polish dance groups to just try and make sure that they stay up on top of, the latest and greatest and have, the beautiful. It takes a lot to keep those costumes together, I can tell you. They're all handmade always. Yeah. And costs a lot of money to get the really authentic, Polish fabrics and, the
embroidery, the details. The more details you want, the more it costs.
The more it costs. And they are all authentic. And usually they're sewed by, Polish people. Mm-hmm. So they do cost a lot of money. So we want to keep the Polish costumes going because we want those to look authentic. We want them to be able to compete and, still thrive. We also have a lot of charitable causes that we've been contributing to. Gift from the Heart is also one of our special causes. I mean, anything that has to do with kids, does speak to our original mission of women and children. And any child deserves, a life
100%.
and deserves their health. I mean, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. So things that are near and dear to our heart. So we have a lot of charitable causes. We also believe in, cultural things like the Polish Museum of America. We've been helping keep their, all of their exhibits and stuff.
And what's amazing to me is the potential energy that Legion has that is being used in the moments of crisis. COVID pandemic, that's one example where
That was
where
huge.
that energy was released. The war in Ukraine, that's another example. And God forbid anything happens in the war, I know that Legion will be ready.
We're always ready, yes. I think as soon as COVID hit, the first thing we decided to do was the girls decided, our young ladies, actually our youngest members, decided to make masks.
Yeah.
And they stood out on the street corners and they were
Giving them.
distributing masks to people that didn't have masks. And we ran the largest relief drive for Ukraine relief. And I mean, the amount of tons and tons of goods that people came in droves to bring us, and we had to figure out logistics-wise. Our young ladies had to figure out how to get these items on airplanes over to Poland. I mean, young ladies doing this stuff. It was amazing.
Impossible is nothing.
Really. We don't believe in the word impossible.
Exactly.
I can tell you that. And the beauty of our organization is that we have people in their 90s and people that are 16, and these ladies all work side by side. It is not unusual for our committees to have
So
all
let's
these
talk about
ages.
those volunteers in action
Yes.
right now, getting ready for the 86th ball. There's always a committee that's putting these complicated events together. It's not a simple task.
Is not simple. That's
Who's
what everybody
chairing the
says.
committee this year?
Sherry Farrell is chairing the committee, and Kathy Evans is co-chairing our committee this year. It's a wonderful team. The ladies are fantastic. It takes a village to run this event. We have so many committee members. I think it's almost 70 or 75 ladies behind the scenes. And I can tell you that all of our debutante moms that have joined our committee this year from last year have all said, I had no idea this is what it takes, and what was going on. I was just enjoying the moment my daughter was having.
But now?
And now they're like, this was a lot of work.
Yep.
So, but we, with all the volunteers, I mean, nobody is paid to do any of this. And we all do it because we love it, because we care. And we really all truly, truly believe in self-sacrifice and doing good for other people.
So thank you so much on behalf of the community for everything that you and the other Legion volunteers do. It's crunch time right now. February 28th is the ball. Are tickets still available? How to get them? When is a good moment to get them?
Absolutely. Tickets are still available. You can still buy tickets, I think, through February 16th.
Okay.
So please do. We're happy to have anybody come out because it is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Everybody who's come has just always said, oh my gosh, I'll never not come again. It's just such a wonderful event. Tickets are available at lypw.org. So you can buy them online, or, better yet, you can even just come to our rehearsal. It's here at the PNA on Sunday. Yes, on Sunday from 11 to 1. We would love to have you come and see us. You can come buy a ticket in person.
Awesome. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. The newly elected president of the Legion of Young Polish Women, Cherilyn Denisiuk, was our guest. And yes, go to that website, go to lypw.org and get your tickets for the 86th Red and White Ball. You have to see that. If you've never been, go, and you will never regret it. You'll have plenty of memories to share with your friends. Cheryl, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.